Ja, baie welkom terug, Koelranke. Byna iets van die verlede en dit het vir Rizwan Opstel so 'n paar minute extra net gegeen om so weer 'n bietjie te rus en net weer alles bymekaar te kry. Maar dit is wat vroeër gebeur het en nie net dalk die aksie gemis het. Dalk in die kop getref deur Mapaka. Was vir 'n oomblik dat die skeieregters bitter bekommerd was. Ons ook, maar joh, Louis, wat 'n slag.
Nou, as hy so teruggaan, dan weet jy, die kolwer het die volle impak geabsorbeer. Dus as 'n skramsou is staande saak, maar so terug, dan vat jy die volle impak van daai aflewering. Maar dit lyk daarom of daar nie regtig 'n probleem is nie. Sal nog so 'n bietjie van 'n gesuis in sy ore gehad het vir 'n ruk, maar ek dink dis al wat daar is. En hy's reg om verder te golf.
Onthou jy in die een wêreldbeker, hy man wat teen Ellen Dungel kom golf het sonder 'n kopskerm?
Onthou jy van 'n shake of iets gewees daar? Toe bal hy om teen die dop.
Ek kan dit nou nog nie glo nie, weet jy. Ek kan onthou waar ek was, hoe ek geskree het vir dit, maar ja.
Ja, dit was 'n voetfoutjie.
Dit was 'n parallaksfout gewees.
Ek het my loopbaan gespeel teen iemand wat dieselfde foutjie gemaak het, Terence Lazard.
My mag.
Hy het hier ons kom golf en toe stuur hy die helmetjie af. Dit het hom presies 2 balle gevat om hy helmet terug te roep.
Om weer terug te
Ellen het hom so geraak so op die wang met een. Toe herdink hy sy hele storie. En hy vra toe ook miskien maar net daai kopskerm weer tekstief.
Dis net domheid uit, niks anders nie. Nie teen Ellen Donald nie. Maar nou ja, ons is dankbaar vir kopskerms. Nou meneer Palliker, wat ook daar gesels met Cliffy. Net die omvang van net alles te bepaal. Is Rizwan okay, is alles alright?
Goeie veldwerk. Hy was 4 hoor.
Al die woorde uit my mond het.
Hy sou nie afgesny gewees het deur halfby of halfweg nie. Hy sou vir 4 gegaan het as Becky nu daai hand by gekry het.
Pragtig. Hierdie keer is hy deur vir 4.
Ook 'n fraksie vol, dit moet 'n mens gee, maar ek sê weer hier is 'n baie goeie blad. Dit is nie regtig 'n vol aflewering nie, maar jy kan deur die lyn slaan en as jy jou tydsberekening reg kry, dan gaan hy gaan en dit is presies wat daar gebeur het hier. As hom kry tydsberekening die plasing reg en 4 lopies.
Ruimte maar reg aan die punt F3 toe, hy is vies vir homself.
Hy is, want hy weet dis op 'n selfe 4 daai, hy was kort en wyd, hy moes net sy plasing reg gekry het en hy slaan hom reguit na punt F3 toe.
Ek wil dit wat 'n bietjie voel daar so.
Dis meer die lyn en lengte. Half en half gaan jy hom vra om 'n risiko te vat.
Einde van die balbeurt, einde van ons kommentaarbeurt op 68 vir 2 en vir die volgende.
Yeah. In the overfly from it, 68 for 2.
Fredericks en Dion Kruis.
Ja, dankie Johnny, dis die Babar Azam met sy 9000 eersterangse lopies, hy's reg bo in hy wêreldhuis.
Right up at the top. Babar Azam.
Ball rallies.
The middle period of the game is important, of course, and for bowling teams there's a necessity to be potent and try and break partnerships to ensure that you can apply some sort of pressure even with the field spread and a gap in the outfield where teams that are aggressive can find a spot for a boundary. And with South Africa having decided to bowl first, they really must have some sort of attacking mindset where they don't just let the game drift along.
Go Shamo! Lovely Shamo, give him a
Yeah, Paul,
love it.
just on your point, you have to work out what is going to make you effective and what's going to be your best wicket-taking option on a surface that I feel is a little bit too pace. We've got the two senior statesmen for Pakistan at the crease, so this is an important partnership. What is the best way of picking up a wicket in this period? From a seamer's perspective, you want to bring those stumps into play. You want to try and get these batters to play around that front pad. So you perhaps want to feel the straighter, catching cover, catching mid-wicket, and ask him to play around that front pad. Because I do feel with this ball getting a touch older, it will start squatting.
कितनी बार आप लोगों को बोला है कि फेक टिपर्स के चक्कर में मत पड़ो। ये दिया आप लोगों को सामने, ये ऊपर जो लिंक देख रहे हैं, ये ओरिजिनल लिंक है जहां से जैकपॉट रोज उड़ते हैं और पूरी मार्केट कॉपी करती है। कमाने हैं तो ये लिंक ज्वाइन कीजिए, फटाफट ज्वाइन कीजिए, आप लोगों के नसीब यहां से खुल जाएंगे अगर इस लिंक पे चले गए। और टीम देख लीजिए, आज जैकपॉट वाला एंट्री भी डाल दीजिए।
Yeah, but it is a lovely day. Those who are here, enjoying it. The cricket kind of in the background. Yes, taking it in, but spending time with whoever they've brought here.
Yeah, this is a good bumper for a number of reasons. Just see how he takes his head and his eyes off the ball. There's the batsman. You want to try and keep your eyes on the ball for as long as possible. At that moment in time, you know you're in danger as a batter. But just a little on this surface. I feel that on this particular surface, that's an underrated delivery to ball. Because as batsman, you're almost set up for the fuller delivery. Parker, of course, he's got a bit extra yard of pace. You want to utilize that bouncer, especially with players from the subcontinent as well. That will just unsettle him a bit. That was the hit. And I can tell you what, it will be in the back of his mind all the time. It's horrible as a batter to be batting straight after that because you'll feel unsettled. Perhaps you have to change the helmet. Not a helmet that you're accustomed to. An excellent shot. But you won't mind that kind of delivery or ploy being used by Ndele if it required. With his pace, batters would try and park on that front foot, so just to take their feet away a little bit. Yeah, he's done excellently, perhaps not short enough.
In light of your assessment and your kind of throwing forward with regard to the pitch and what might happen later on, in my talking about South Africa having bowled first and needing to kind of have some sort of aggression and wicket taking thought process, it's because of precisely that. Because right now as they watch, they might say, oh, this is going along quite nicely, looks a nice and easy pace wicket, and even though these are still together, they're not necessarily batting at a rate of knots. Yes, however, that batting might get even more difficult as you go on, so you might feel later that you didn't apply sufficient pressure. Bowl more darts, try and create a few more chances, forcing the chances by trying to ask them to head over the top. It's a good over from Peshawar, just 3 from it, 75.
कितनी बार आप लोगों को बोला है कि फेक टिपर्स के चक्कर में मत पड़ो, ये दिया आप लोगों को सामने, ये ऊपर जो लिंक देख रहे हैं, ये ओरिजिनल लिंक है जहां से जैकपॉट रोज उड़ते हैं और पूरी मार्केट को कमाने हैं, तो ये लिंक ज्वाइन कीजिए, फटाफट ज्वाइन कीजिए, आप लोगों के नसीब यहां से खुल जाएंगे अगर इस लिंक में चलेंगे। और टीम देख लीजिए, आज जैकपॉट वाला एंट्री भी डाल दीजिए।
हेलो दोस्तों, राजू मनराज असलम, इन्होंने हमारा टेलीग्राम चैनल ज्वाइन किया है, तो आप भी जाएं और टेलीग्राम चैनल ज्वाइन करें। यहाँ पर मैच स्टार्ट होने से
Rizwan 10 from 21. This partnership has gone along a little slowly. The bowling group will be happy with how they've gone to this point.
Yeah, I think having worked with Pakistan, I understand the mindset of these two players in particular. They won't be too upset or too worried about that run rate at the moment, because they know both of them they can catch up. For them it's about settling and anchoring this partnership, because you feel that this is the big one for Pakistan. And also be aware that the surface out here, perhaps not the usual surface that we come to expect when you come to Newland. So when you talk average scores around 259, you can set your sights perhaps just a little bit lower than that. I'm going to try and get to the 250 mark. And once you formulated a good partnership, you can always catch up towards the back end. But these middle overs, they are important. You don't want to give away soft wickets. Oh, excellent fielding. Oh, he's just missed it, Aiden Markham. Move sharply to his right. Oh, it's all happening for Mohammad Rizwan today.
Heart and mouth as he went off, wasn't sure. Oh, gets it in the hand there. Then he's got both ends to go at, hence the dive, because he recognizes that he might be short of his ground. Doesn't pick it up, Markram. And he looked away too, because he thought, oh dear, I'm going to get another hit in the head.
Yeah, having been there, you're almost waiting for it to happen as well. Yeah, but this is back to two senior batters. They'll be keeping an eye fixed on that Champions Trophy coming up. So it's all about confidence in these bilateral series. It's all about building momentum.
Void rallies, void rallies.
77 for 2. Talking about it, Champions Trophy. You want to make sure that heading into those kind of competitions, having settled betting orders, your bowlers know exactly what they're going to do. Those guys are enjoying the sun.
Don't be jealous, man. Shot. Saw him coming, decided to react, Petraguayo. But the reaction unable to stop Rizwan. He's belted that away before.
Yeah, Petraguayo has seen charging early, but how is that for a shot? For those of you that watch Wimbledon, that would be 40 love. Gee, as he got on top of that speed. In the process, managed to keep it down as well. An excellent cricket shot. And again, just go back to the nature of the surface. That's almost a stop in the surface. Excellent adjustment from Mohammad Rizwan. Yeah, I think this is back to what ploys to utilize on the surface like this, and especially with the pace that Andile Vetlakwa is operating at. You want to try and force these batters to be driving a great deal of deliveries, because you feel that that's where you perhaps can drive them into a lull sense of security. Get him to drive one in the up, maybe in the air, so your cover can come a touch straighter, your mid wicket can come a touch straighter, and force him to look square. But also it's important for Andile Vetlakwa to understand that he can utilize the crease as well. Not having one static release point for the batter to line you up. So it's all about playing around with his angles. I think there's natural variation in the surface, so you want to best utilize it by having some sort of consistency of a line that you're operating at. Top of off. That saying never gets old, eh, Pom?
Oh, hurry, hurry. Okay, in the end, because Jansen didn't hit. Well, it's a tight one, that, from Rizwan.
Yeah, he's hit it quite firm to mid on, and as he hit it, you'd have realized that he had to
कितनी
get
बार आप लोगों को बोला है कि फेक टिपर्स के चक्कर में मत पड़ो। ये दिया आप लोगों को सामने, ये ऊपर जो लिंक देख रहे हैं, ये ओरिजिनल लिंक है जहां से जैकपॉट रोज उड़ते हैं और पूरी मार्केट कॉपी करती है। कमाने हैं तो ये लिंक ज्वाइन कीजिए, फटाफट ज्वाइन कीजिए, आप लोगों के नसीब यहां से खुल जाएंगे अगर इस लिंक पे चले गए। और टीम देख लीजिए, आज जैकपॉट वाला एंट्री भी डाल दीजिए।
Decided he was attacking Petraguayo, got him away, and then the rest are just little dots, and the field is in on the offside, unable to work it onside. I think I've got to make something happen here. I'll take a single. And so some sort of pressure being created.
Yeah, and this is back to my point on this particular surface. If you can suffocate a batsman, all batters, you feel the heat eventually. Even though you get a boundary first ball, those dots, they just keep pounding the pressure. 83 for 2 after 18. Yeah, also known as Scholesy. Carl Verena. Looks like he's got a bit of a ginger party going there, Pom.
It looked like he said, "Oh my word."
कितनी बार आप लोगों को बोला है कि फेक टिपर्स के चक्कर में मत पड़ो। ये दिया आप लोगों को सामने, ये ऊपर जो लिंक देख रहे हैं, ये ओरिजिनल लिंक है जहां से जैकपॉट रोज उड़ते हैं और पूरी मार्केट कॉपी करती है। कमाने हैं तो ये लिंक ज्वाइन कीजिए, फटाफट ज्वाइन कीजिए, आप लोगों के नसीब यहाँ से खुल जाएंगे अगर इस लिंक पे चले गए। और टीम देख लीजिए, आज जैकपॉट वाला
And
एंट्री भी डाल।
we look, their groups enjoying themselves, friends, family.
हेलो दोस्तों, राजू मनराज असलम इन्होंने हमारा टेलीग्राम चैनल ज्वाइन किया है, तो आप भी जाएं और टेलीग्राम चैनल ज्वाइन कर।
Few very thirsty. Fourteen, sixth over, gone for just the 22. Expectation is that they would be able to manipulate the ball with him in operation, but he's not one they've seen a great deal of beyond 14, and he doesn't necessarily turn it. Generally will stay stump to stump. And ask the batters to play straight, and in their quest to find the gaps then try and work the ball a little bit squarer, and his field is set very square, very straight, excuse me, for exactly that.
Yeah, I think this is on that point. You also need to assess conditions and what conditions are crying out for. I'd almost say you need to just slow it down a bit, because as batter you're craving for a bit of pace, so him operating in the manner which he does, and that's his A game, he's always going to try and target those stumps, RBW bold. But I just think he needs to take off a pace just a little bit. Ask the batsman to create their own pace on the ball, like that. Then you see Mohammad Rizwan indicating just a bit of turn, and that's because it's a little bit slower in the air, or through the air.
As we watch in the various formats, and it can be so different bowling in a 2020 game and bowling in the middle in a one-day game, where conditions allow and there's the desire from skipper and team for you to get someone out and to bowl them out, so use the conditions, spin it, flight it, all of that. 36 for 2. Hello, Melanet.
Yeah, it's such a special time to be down in the Western Cape region of South Africa. Many a holiday maker flocking down here, this region at this time of the year, as we're heading into the festive season. Oh wow, look at that. Looking like a shark going wrong there, Pom.
Not sure if he was bobbing his head to the music or if he just wanted to get that off his head. Here's Tabrez Shamsi, and with conditions as they are, there'll be expectation that he'd create trouble, that he'd create chances, that he can prize out a batter or two or three. Needs to make it difficult for the Pakistanis and influence the game somewhat.
Yeah, Pom, just on your point a little earlier about the different formats and how bowlers go about their business, you almost feel that
Because of T20 cricket, spinners have gone quicker and quicker, so they've almost lost that ability to slow it up and get the ball to turn a great deal. This format still cries out for that.
Now,
Like you say, you expect a Tabrez Shamsi to be a handful on this surface. Given conditions the way they are, you will turn it, but it's about consistency. So over it, the South Africans. First warning. Now with 2 spinners in operation, they should be alright. It's just a little bit over it. We used to have a spinner called Kessel Maharaj. From time to time when he sets his field, don't bank on a couple of quick overs, Pom. Yeah. Don't worry, we watch from up here. Yeah, he's very particular in his field placing. It's about how he sees and feel a particular field in a particular area. And if he's not quite comfortable, he'll move you until you're in a zone where he feels comfortable. That's actually such an important point as well as a bowler. When you're on the top of your mark and you just don't feel a particular field is in the right position, you almost don't commit to the delivery full on.
हेलो दोस्तों, राजू मनराज असलम इन्होंने हमारा टेलीग्राम चैनल ज्वाइन किया है, तो आप भी जाएं और टेलीग्राम चैनल ज्वाइन करेंगे।
We do need to complete the game today. 89 for 2.
Third ODI is a pink day. Breast cancer awareness. Really good cause. And it is normally a well attended and well supported day. Pink day. Third one day international. And what many will hope, certainly of South African inclination, and who haven't gone on holiday to the coast, they'll hope that it is a 1-all when the teams return to the Highveld. Pakistan, well, they won't be fussed about that. They want to make sure they close things out here today, and this is a decent start for them. We've got 2 well-experienced men out there in Babar Azam and Mohammed Rizwan. Here's Aiden Markram to bowl his off spin. Long on back. Mid-off is up in the circle. It's got a deep mid-wicket, deep backward square as well, so it'll be right on the stumps.
Yeah, and I think this is all about awareness right now. From a Pakistan point of view, they'll be aware that South Africa perhaps want to squeeze a couple of overs
From Markram, but I always feel that this is a window of opportunity, Pom, because you have the extra fielder up in the ring, and you can almost send a message across to the opposing team by taking on a bowler like Aiden Markram. It gives the innings a bit of impetus, a bit of momentum. But I certainly feel that in the modern day game, this is a window of opportunity where you can look to score. Talk about looking to score, you can just get a sense that perhaps Babar Azam identifying that this is the matchup.
And the good thing here is that Markram is a batter, so he's an all-rounder. He'll be aware of where the gap is, what Babar Azam will look to do. And it's very much to try and pop it over the top, over mid-off, should the opportunity arise. So a couple of balls go, runs down, and he gets it straighter, drags it a little bit back to prevent that.
Yeah, let's look at the field. I've got like a deep, fine leg. I'm not sure that that particular field is going to be sufficient. I know he's perhaps putting a field there for the lap, but I think if anything, these batters will look to hard sweep him, which open up that square leg boundary region. He's got to feel the mid-wicket on the fence as well. Excellent bowling. Excellent
First
first
over for Markham, 91 for 2.
कितनी बार आप लोगों को बोला है कि फेक टिपर्स के चक्कर में मत पड़ो। ये दिया आप लोगों को सामने, ये ऊपर जो लिंक देख रहे हैं, ये ओरिजिनल लिंक है जहां से जैकपॉट रोज उड़ते हैं और पूरी मार्केट कॉपी करती है। कमाने हैं तो ये लिंक ज्वाइन कीजिए, फटाफट ज्वाइन कीजिए, आप लोगों के नसीब यहां से खुल जाएंगे अगर इस लिंक पे चले गए। और टीम देख लीजिए, आज जैकपॉट वाला एंट्री भी डाल।
Another angle of a peach.
हेलो दोस्तों, राजू मनराज असलम इन्होंने हमारा टेलीग्राम चैनल ज्वाइन किया है, तो आप भी जाएं और टेलीग्राम चैनल ज्वाइन।
He continues with the second over.
Yeah, just to follow on from the point Vernon Philander was making, we sit in the back of the box thinking to ourselves, with all the experience that Babar Azam and Rizwan have, facing the likes of Shamsi, Markham, Fortain, the amount of spin they faced over the years, it's been a little bit too circumspect for me. Partnership of 38 of 72 deliveries, and a lot of those have been the spinners operating. You do think they've got the ability, surely, to be able to back themselves. If you're going to win things like the Champions Trophy and on your own home conditions, these ones won't be turning nearly as much as some of the pitches will be in Pakistan. Not too sure if they've got immense confidence in the players still to come. We saw Salman play a wonderful innings. But you do think from the outside, if you want to put the South African lineup under pressure, this might be the opportunity. The reason they bowl first, South Africa, is because it's a very defensive bowling unit that they've almost got. They've got the attacking of Shamsi maybe and Marco Jansen and probably putting Parker into it, but the rest of it is pretty reserved. And South Africa look at their batting strength and think, okay, whatever you set us, we'll try and chase down. I think Pakistan may be just missing a beat here.
Go out there thinking that, you know, there's not a lot to offer in the middle order after this pairing. So that means this kind of a display where you've got a 40-run partnership of 75 balls and South Africans are not even targeting you. I think that all they are looking to do is to bowl this basic line and length stuff. 93 for 2.
इस मैजिकल ऑफर को जाने ना दें। अब कोका कोला की 2 लीटर बोतल सिर्फ 220 रुपए में। खाना बनाए मैजिकल कोका कोला के साथ।
There is the scores that could transpire. A current run rate of 4.23 and they would get up to 211. Okay, as I was saying now, 90%, 95% of people who've posted over 240 have gone on to win on this ground and they know.
हेलो दोस्तों, राजू मनराज असलम इन्होंने हमारा टेलीग्राम चैनल ज्वाइन किया है, तो आप भी जाएं और टेलीग्राम चैनल ज्वाइन करें। यहाँ पर मैच स्टार्ट होने।
The last thing I'm going to say about this is it's not mystery spin.
And people might say, oh, well, maybe they don't want to risk taking it over the top. Well, I don't think it's much of a risk. If you played as much cricket as you have at Pakistan, you've got to be confident enough to use your feet and pop it over the offside without a slog sweep.
So slog sweep is a massive area. It's just orthodox off spin. There's no dooseras, there's no Karen balls.
Now the thing to look forward to is that this partnership has got to make sense for Pakistan. So they've consumed 78 balls. What they can't do at this stage is to get out then, because then, I mean, there's been a little bit of momentum. It's not a great sort of jaw-dropping partnership, but wicket has not gone down, so they have wickets in hand, and that's the way Pakistan usually play. The ODIs, wickets in hand and go hard in the last 10 or 15 overs. Some say it's the old-fashioned way of dealing with ODIs, but they seem to be quite happy doing it.
There we go, there we go. Goldschmidt then absolutely middles it. He probably was looking for a little bit straighter because there's no field of post there. Markham sits with his hands on his head saying, oh, that was close. But I don't think it was. I think the contact was good enough from the outset. 100 brought up for Pakistan, given some air, tossed up just 80 kilometers per hour. He's operating 90, 88, 94, and that's well played.
Your walkie-talkie seems to be working with Rizwan. He's heard you completely, absolutely. So must not get out. So make use of this platform, this partnership.
Goes for the scoop. Did he get some on it? The way that Klaasen has reacted, you would think he did. The same from Aiden Markram. He was in position early, and what does that mean is that the keeper can anticipate. 101 for 2 after 23.
We talk a great deal about batsmen being sort of improviser in this format, but have a look at the keeper.
कितनी बार आप लोगों को बोला है कि फेक टिपर्स के चक्कर में मत पड़ो। ये दिया आप लोगों को सामने, ये ऊपर जो लिंक देख रहे हैं, ये ओरिजिनल लिंक है जहां से जैकपॉट रोज उड़ते हैं और पूरी मार्केट कॉपी करती है। कमाने हैं तो ये लिंक ज्वाइन कीजिए, फटाफट ज्वाइन कीजिए, आप लोगों के नसीब यहां से खुल जाएंगे अगर इस लिंक में चले गए। और टीम देख लीजिए, आज जैकपॉट वाला एंट्री भी डाल।
Markham was appreciating the effort by Hendrik Klaasen. We'll have a look at slow-mo to see if there was contact made. That's nasty, clip fine, and they'll be looking to come back for the second. The side against it takes the partnership to 49 of 83. But yeah, that's the way the keepers operate these days, isn't it? As soon as you get down to play that pedal, they kind of anticipate that you are going to make contact and not miss it. And Klaasen did that, got it to hit him in an area where he thought he could grab a hold of it, but unfortunately for South Africa, not to be.
Yeah, clearly an ultra edge. Ball hitting the bat, and the keeper then reacting, or almost took a great catch.
That just shows you also about the technology. When you get a good edge on it, it makes a sharp kind of heartbeat. But because it just ran along the bat, it was a very small. If you can see the deflection. I suppose the trick may be also to be that if you get down to play it, then don't touch it. Because if the keeper's anticipating.
जो जो भाई लाइव मैच देख रहे हैं सब्सक्राइब करके कि पेज को लाइक में फॉलो कर लें। आप लोग मैच देख रहे हैं लेकिन पेज को फॉलो नहीं कर रहे तो सब लोग पेज को फॉलो कर लें। शमीर ब्लॉग ने पेज को फॉलो किया है, शमीर भाई बहुत शुक्रिया, अहमद ने पेज को फॉलो किया है, मुस्तफा खान ने पेज को फॉलो किया है, मुस्तफा भाई बहुत शुक्रिया। बाकी यार जो जो लाइव मैच देख रहे हैं सब पेज को फॉलो।
That must have an impact on the psyche, on the mindset, because when you're out there and you want to score runs just to sort of shut up the trolls, then you bat like this, where you're desperate to get a 50 or desperate to get a milestone. I'm just guessing. I don't know whether Babar and Rizwan feel that way, but there's a lot of traffic regarding these two. Whenever Pakistan doesn't show up, 104 for 2.
Yeah, 3 singles and over. One of them brought up the 50 partnership. It's now 51 between the two of them with 88 deliveries. Yeah, the only thing I would say, Ramesh, is I watched a couple of the replacements that came in the middle of overs there in T20 format. Usman Khan and Tayyab Tahir. I wasn't overly impressed by what I saw there. So if those are the replacements, then there's no reason to be trolling these two. I think these two are vastly experienced and quality players. current score is looking like they end up with 217, which is down. Initially, I think about 5 or 6 overs ago, they were looking like they were going to post 240 at the current rate, and that's why I'm a bit surprised, because, as I say, I don't really feel that this is a massive risk to take on some of the bowlers that they're facing at the moment. Drag down and gets that one away for a single.
Ball Toshi, ball Toshi. Ball, liya bali kisi show.
That's nasty play. The placement is superb. Slightly overpitched from Aidan Markham. And Baabazam does not miss out. That's a great shot.
He's a wonderful cover driver, and here's an example of how good he looks when he's on top of his form in top gear. I was hoping that he'd play one against a spin like that, and this was beautifully driven.
Brings up his 33rd one-day international 50 for Baabazam of 73 deliveries.
Yeah, he's been an asset, a great player for Pakistan over the years. In fact, he's a world beater on the day, and Baabazam will heave a sigh of relief. A 50. And something to show for. His record against South Africa is pretty impressive in ODIs.
That's worked nice and fine. That might be another.
कितनी बार आप लोगों को बोला है कि फेक टिपर्स के चक्कर में मत पड़ो। ये दिया आप लोगों को सामने, ये ऊपर जो लिंक देख रहे हैं, ये ओरिजिनल लिंक है जहां से जैकपॉट रोज उड़ते हैं और पूरी मार्केट कॉपी करती है। कमाने हैं तो ये लिंक ज्वाइन कीजिए, फटाफट ज्वाइन कीजिए। आप लोगों के नसीब यहां से खुल जाएंगे अगर इस लिंक में चलेंगे। और टीम देख लीजिए आज जैकपॉट वाला एंट्री भी डाला।
हेलो दोस्तों, राजू मनराज असलम इन्होंने हमारा टेलीग्राम चैनल ज्वाइन किया है, तो आप भी जाएं और टेलीग्राम चैनल ज्वाइन करें। यहाँ पर
They're comfortably the best over of the innings so far. The others had 4 8s so far. For the side screen, there's an issue with the advertising being unable to turn into a blank black. Decent crowd, and you do get the feeling that later on there'll be probably a couple of people on the beach, and as heads towards late evening they might make their way across.
That's a good natural angle for Rizwan to hit one over mid-wicket, because he plays that slot sweep expertly. But he has not really ventured against Shamsi. Hit a huge 6 against Markram. Let's see whether he can hold himself back. 30s or 44.
That's nicely played. Use of the feet, trying to target the area where there's no man back. And he gets near the pitch a bit, punishes it away.
Yeah, it always is a jaw-dropping experience when he's playing that drive through the offside. Beautifully played, a little bit of width, employed himself
instinctively there with that massive drive. Knew exactly how to deal with that length, with that width.
Yeah, I've been on a few committees in my time, and this regulation that's in play now, where you have to keep 5 men in the overs from 10 to 40, that was introduced because there was a feeling that the one-day international game was going through a bit of a lull in the middle overs, where people would just knock it around, try and compile a score, and then really bash it at the back end of the innings. And why it was introduced is to almost bring an extra fielder up so that there was an extra boundary option. And when the spinner's operating, so normally Jabari Shamsi could push that man at mid-off all the way back to the fence, but he can't because of the regulations. And that's where I feel like a team like Pakistan today haven't tried to utilize that. It's nicely swept, and Marco Jansen should cut that off, but they will come back for 2. We did see Babar Azam earlier on in this over, use of the feet and targeting that area. I suppose as South Africans, we've always just thought people from the subcontinent, brilliant players of spin. Do you still think they're as good as maybe back in the day?
I mean, yeah, but the standard has lowered just a little bit. I think the others are catching up as well. So you see South Africa playing spin a lot better. Saw New Zealand beat India 3-zip in a test series in India, 121 for 2. So I think the gap is closing. Babar Azam is a superb player through the offside. Flawless, almost flawless. Every time he saw the opportunity, went after it. The other thing about his batting is that you don't, I mean, even when he's defending, he's looking good. It's not that when he's hitting 4s that he looks $1 million. Aesthetically very pleasing, Babar Azam. 58 he is off 79 balls. That strike rate has picked up just a little in the last couple of overs. Pakistan need to go big. Look probably for a score around 300.
In order to get there, they'd have to go just over 7.5 to the over. I suppose therein lies the challenge. But the South Africans deciding to take the slow spinners out of the attack and go for something a bit quicker with Marco Jansen. And he looks like he's going to operate straight away around the wicket to the right-handed Rizwan.
Why do left-armers do that, Polly?
I'll let you know when I find the right explanation, Ramesh. I mean, I do understand of cutting down the angle and trying to make sure you don't offer up any width, but I would think that would always be like the second option. So you would start over and see if you can get it to shape and maybe find the edge, and then if that doesn't go according to plan and you feel like there's nothing in the surface and you want to try and tuck them up, make sure they don't smash you through the offside, then come around. But Marco Jansen seems very comfortable with coming around. Also got another bit of information for you. South Africa have had their second warning for a slow change between overs. You now have 60 seconds between when the ball is completed and called dead at the end of an over and to when you have to bowl the first delivery of the next over. South Africa had a bit of a problem with it in the UAE, and the issue now is that after 3 times you end up giving 5 penalty runs to the opposition. So they'll be very conscious of that now, South Africa. It really is. It's a long time, a minute. You should be able to get it done by then, Ramesh.
Yes, I think tactics are important, so you want to discuss few things, but it can't be at the cost of game's pace. But so far so good from this angle from Jansen. He's tucked him up. He's bowled the length.
It's something that's been introduced in a lot of sports. You see it in basketball, you see it in baseball now, you see it in rugby where the kickers, when they kick for poles, they've got a certain time. That's where they have to get their kick done by. And now it's been introduced into cricket. I think it's a good thing. You don't want that lull and people taking endless time before over starts to set the field. You need to make your changes, but get on with the game so it moves now. and smoothly. Well, we've mentioned about him coming around the wicket. It's the perfect angle. Look at this 5-dot deliveries.
Rizwan has also allowed him to bowl. This was the attempted off-cutter, the slow ball, and played with the straight bats of 5 dots.
No.
There we go. Maiden over for Marco Jansen. 121 for 2.
He's very tall, so you need to adjust, especially on such pitches where the ball does bounce a little bit more. And he's at you quicker than you expect. A very good start to a brand new spell. Jansen 5 overs, 1 for 24 now.
Zondo is in the house.
You'll probably see Babar Azam now expanding his range against Shamsi. He's played aggressively against him in the last over, looking for a boundary now. And then a dead stop or a single.
That's nicely played through the cover region, but once again, just a single. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, when you, as we said, we watch from the outside. I don't know if you see as much Pakistan cricket as you, but over the years they've played some unbelievable shots against spin and opened up areas, and you do feel that they're more than capable. It doesn't feel like it's a massive risk for one of these two to just use their feet, and if it is in the right area, pop it over mid-off or wait for something that's over-pitched and slog sweep it over deep mid-wicket. That's a little edge, a fortunate one, and that should race away to the fence. David Miller with his sore calf gives chase, as does Marco Jansen, but all in vain.
Shamsi bowls it at 82 kmph, and Rizwan edges it to the fence. So bit of a stress buster for Mohammad Rizwan is the wrong one, I think. He had turned the other way and played it with the angle. He read it well.
Yeah, we've got to give him credit, I suppose. If you look where David Miller was situated, he did definitely open up the face and guarded in that area. I'll be happy that it went all the way to the fence. It'll be a nasty setup for Pink Day if South Africa do manage to win this match and make it a finale up in Johannesburg. We saw a couple of pink outfits earlier.
हेलो दोस्तों, राजू मनराज असलम इन्होंने हमारा टेलीग्राम चैनल ज्वाइन किया है, तो आप भी जाएं और टेलीग्राम चैनल ज्वाइन करें। यहाँ पर मैच स्टार्ट होने से 1 घंटे पहले ही बता दिया जाता है कि कौन सी टीम जीतेगी, कौन सी टीम हारेगी, कौन सी टीम कितने रन बनाएगी, कौन सी बॉल पर कौन सा विकेट जाएगा।
That's well played again. I think it's just a little parry, a little left arm on it from Bjorn Fortuin, which cuts it off to a second.
Yeah, it becomes easier to tackle Shamsi when you get to the pitch of his ball delivery. You can drive him against the spin also. But no big shots attempted so far, so it's been along the ground stuff from this pairing. Partnership of 75 now.
That's a drag down, and he's missed out on that one. Here's Rizwan. His eyes would have lit up like this one is going to the fence, but it kind of turned more than he was expecting. Also tended to stay a touch down, so he couldn't even make contact, but he'll get another go at it. This one he does get away, and Dazorzi charges around to cut it off, so 9 runs from that over. Another good one for Pakistan in the context. 130 for 2.
कितनी बार आप लोगों को बोला है कि फेक टिपर्स के चक्कर में मत पड़ो। ये दिया आप लोगों को सामने, ये ऊपर जो लिंक देख रहे हैं, ये ओरिजिनल लिंक है जहां से जैकपॉट रोज उड़ते हैं और पूरी मार्केट कॉपी करती है। कमाने हैं तो ये लिंक ज्वाइन कीजिए। फटाफट ज्वाइन कीजिए, आप लोगों के नसीब यहां से खुल जाएंगे अगर इस लिंक पे चले गए और टीम देख लीजिए, आज जैकपॉट वाला एंट्री भी डाल दीजिए।
Partnership's very good, 77 between Bob Rosman and Mohammed Rizwan, 113 balls. That run rate though has not escalated. 4.64 it is. The track has not been the easiest today, it's got to be said. So this partnership is valuable for Pakistan. If they continue at this rate, they'll get the 230 mark. If they step on a little bit more, unlikely they're going to get well, maybe 260. Here's a look at the partnership at this stage. Someone plays really well, 77 as I said. A couple of fine shots have been played by both of them. That was a beauty from Mohammed Rizwan. A couple of watchful overs. And they decided to get into the spinners a bit, which is exactly what they need to do on a surface like this. Also the upbringing they've had, these two guys, playing spin from the moment they picked up a bat. He was about 4 years of age. Confirmation of that partnership. Janssen now. Shot high to the ground. G'day, Vernon.
Yeah, afternoon, Hazy. I just get the sense that they'd have communicated that it is a difficult surface, so they're not too bothered about the game situation at the moment. 130 for 2. You'd almost feel that perhaps can get to 250, 260 as a bare minimum. But they'd also know the importance of one of these batters to bear through. Yeah, the buzzword would be not to panic. Both of these players playing lots of their cricket in the subcontinent, so these conditions would perhaps resemble a bit of that subcontinent, or perhaps a subcontinent feel to it.
Except for the mountain, Vern. Nice length from Janssen.
Yeah, it's a beautiful venue to play your cricket at. That mountain never grow boring, I can guarantee you. Every time you rock up here as a player, you draw some inspiration from just that picture alone. That Ramesh Raja rocking up here and to say, wow, what a good view to come back to every single time you visit South Africa.
I remember the first time I saw that, the team I was with, just absolutely stunned by it. We couldn't believe how brilliant it was. Before you say too much, Vern, it wasn't in black and white.
Yeah, this is an excellent bouncer for Marco Jansen for a number of reasons. Mohammed Rizwan, he got hit on the helmet a little earlier, and this will send a message. A message of a little bit being uncomfortable. You can see how he's swaying out the way. But he played it a lot better this time around because he kept his eye on the ball.
Yeah, thankfully it bounced a lot more as well, I guess. Oh, he's picked that up. He's picked that up superbly. That's a fine strike. 6 runs.
Yeah, that's some way to respond after the short ball. But this is a shot that we've come accustomed to. Mohammed Rizwan playing with great comfort. It's a slow ball, he's picked it early. Yeah, that's the side that he favours, the leg side. Got himself into a wonderful position. Not looking to overhit it, it was all about getting a healthy piece of the willow on it. Yeah, sailed into the railway stand.
Yeah, 4 dot balls and then that fine shot. No! And closed down nicely by Marco Jansen. So 6 off that over, 1 shot only, 136 for 2.
कितनी बार आप लोगों को बोला है कि फेक टिपर्स के चक्कर में मत पड़ो। ये दिया आप लोगों को सामने, ये ऊपर जो लिंक देख रहे हैं, ये ओरिजिनल लिंक है जहां से जैकपॉट रोज उड़ते हैं और पूरी मार्केट कॉपी करती है। कमाने हैं तो ये लिंक ज्वाइन कीजिए, फटाफट ज्वाइन कीजिए, आप लोगों के नसीब यहां से खुल जाएंगे अगर इस लिंक पे चले गए और टीम देख लीजिए, आज जैकपॉट वाला एंट्री भी डाल दीजिए।
हेलो दोस्तों, राजू मनराज असलम इन्होंने हमारा टेलीग्राम चैनल ज्वाइन किया है, तो आप भी जाएं और टेलीग्राम चैनल ज्वाइन करें।
Yeah, it was an excellent, well-directed bouncer. But guys with Mapaka's height, is so difficult to get out the way, especially on these surfaces that just tend to keep down a little bit. You'd expected that ball to bounce a little bit higher, but got teeth in the helmet. He's a character, he's a fighter. He's not going to go down without a fight, I can guarantee you.
Cries of catch it just over the top. Chases on. Nicely done. We're going to settle it 2 only. Good work down there.
Yeah, it's the young Mapaka at the boundary. An excellent job. Just a touch too short from Fortain. It was airborne for a little bit. He's quick across the turf, the young man. Yeah, when you have youth on your sides, use it. Steady on, Hazy.
Five overs, 1 for 19 for Mapaka so far. Back in the middle and no doubt finish with some at the end. He bowled that delivery that hit Mohammad Rizwan. Of course, a left arm of bowling quickly. You've actually got nowhere to go if it's directed beautifully, which it was. That's it well. Very well indeed, and that's off for 6. Beautiful shot.
Yeah, I told you he fancies that leg side, but it's an excellent option. As we're nearing a 40 over mark, you have the extra field up in the ring. He was well aware of it, he got himself set in a wonderful position, he's got quick hands. Excellent execution of the slog sweep.
Halfway through the over, 9 from it. Just that single makes it 10 now, so this is potentially a big one for Pakistan. Brings up the 50 for the skipper.
Yeah, it's been a gutsy knock. Got hit in the helmet early on. He's been a little bit unsettled and was never going to give up without a fight. Got himself another half century. And this is massive in the context of this series. 2 4s, 3 6s. This is starting to up that